I have based my presentation a little more pragmatic to what I've been doing in the past couple of semesters, and I teach at USD MISO, and in the past few semesters, I've been doing the final semester's 9th thesis, and I've understood the sort of bottlenecks that you go through when you are addressing the final year studios. I've just put together a very pragmatic presentation of what should be done in the 9th semester. I had looked at the objectives that were given to learn about reading and documenting urban context, and to understand the idea of urban space, to understand the difference between urban design as opposed to urban development, to understand the role of architecture in shaping urban fabric, to create architecture which fits into a specific urban context. Now, I think, to be fair to the syllabus, it's bang on. The 9th semester, this is the 7th semester. The 7th semester is a prelude to the thesis semester, so this is their final year. What we have done is, I just put together a little bit of my thinking in this process. Bharat, I think I need a little light here. Not as much. Yeah, this is, yeah. This is fine. What I've looked at is I've broken it up into. Can't see? Okay. I've looked at it in 3 stages. The first is because this is the semester where they're going to be doing urban design. Until this semester, all the projects were design-based issues. They were doing independent studies, independent work, and suddenly they've been thrust with urban design, all from scratch. So they have a lecture course which teaches them urban design, and then they're supposed to be doing also studio. I would rather have urban design being taught as just an introduction program rather than taking it on as a serious when in past semesters we had urban design being taught, they went into serious information of mapping, typological studies, etc. I think it's too early in their 7th semester. They have opportunity to go and further do their urban design studies as a master's program, and this should only be an introduction to what urban design is. Rather work with only urban issues and not necessarily call it urban design, because that takes it into a separate mold. People work more intensely or very differently when they're being told that this is an urban design studio. So as I said, I think it's important to only deal with urban issues, and that is to be made obvious to the surroundings of what the student sees when they go around when the study is taken up. A student needs to appreciate how the spaces within the urban assemblage provides a setting for life and unique local character. What I meant is more than trying to work out a study-based issue, it is better to just focus on an issue that persists in a particular area, pick that up and use that as an urban problem rather than using it as an urban design experience, and then go on to do a proper project which is a little more design oriented. The second thing that I saw is that I meant to say here was to look at cooperation and collaboration. Students till now have only been doing group activities only to do a case study or whatever. But the future is a little more diminishing in that sense. Projects are becoming fewer. Offices are working as collaborative offices. Within offices, they have teams working on projects on a collaborative basis. I think it's time that the student is taught that individual work, yes, is important, but as much that they need to sort of collectively get together. Egos are sort of brought down, and they work together as a collective rather than an individual. So, as I said, they have to work as a they have to collaborate and not necessarily work as an individual. The third part is that they are one semester away from the theses. Now, if you jam them with a lot of work on urban design and urban design issues, etc., I think lots of them think that's a precursor to theses. Lots of projects become urban design projects. People believe that the larger the projects or the more intense it is, the better their chances of doing a better project. I don't think that is what we should project in the seventh semester. The objective is to run the semester as a discipline or a precursor to their theses, which is going to be another 4 months or a 5 months project. So students need to work this as a small little miniature model of their thesis. So the scope of work, the methodology, the design methodologies, all have to be constant in this particular semester. You cannot skip any of the processes. I'm facing this in the present, in USD we have the 9th semester before the theses. I'm facing this in the 9th semester where the students believe that they've already arrived at a particular stage where they can easily skip certain stages towards design process. So we have, and it's not necessary for them to do many of the stages of design process issues. They don't need to do concepts. They believe that they can skip from the brief directly into a stage where they can design and present. A lot of them have failed in this process because the pure methodology of work has been sort of subtracted in this process. I've put together what are the aims of the studio. So it is better to aim and have the students exposed to a city-level urban requirement. It could be a small little project. And then later on, so they work as a part one, as they question the issues that are lying around them, and then the studio runs on the issues rather than having to define a building type. You do not want to define that you only do museums or art studios or all these very nice projects which eventually they never get to do around in their practical life. It is better that they identify they identify, question, and then work out a project themselves, which is an issue-based project. So I said the part one of any of the 7th semester is sort of laterally divided, and you have a part one which is the cooperate and collab. Students work in a team here. There is a group study. Students then they could possibly work with one team leader and three or four of them being part of the group. They then generate issues of and they identify simple urban issues. They come up with a common theme which is sort of agreeable to the group. They come up with an ideology, methodologies, and then that is a time once the system is sort of thought through, and then they have certain ways in which they have worked out a common framework. They they sort of, this is the time that you sort of have a break on the semester. So you have 1 week of study of the region and site, 2 weeks for documentation, 3 weeks for the collaborative work, which leads to some part of the design. And then it is important to close it at that stage. So you don't get them to mull on it right through the 16 weeks or 15 weeks of the semester, because then it is so easy for them to be working on this, collaborative work, that they sort of don't do what is necessary when it comes to their individual works. So it's important to close it at this, have the reviews, mark them, and then get on to the stage 2, which is the individual projects, where the students now work with the individual project with the essence of the design marking that the group had formulated in the previous part, and then they get on to doing their design work, which is, though it is the 7th semester, it is important to work with a fairly small-sized project so that they, as I said, it's a precursor to the thesis. It's important for them to do every little bit of tests that is required to be done on this project. So they have to do their, right from their process to study models to design evaluation to working out their designs methodically. So that's the point. It's methodically worked out, and it can be a small project. It gives them an idea that their theses also can be worked with whatever size that they define for the theses, but this is a litmus test or a study or a way in which they can possibly do their thesis together. So here I put together, so they go 1 week into design, 4 weeks, 1 week into evaluation, 4 weeks into design. They have a mid-review, 2 weeks for the design closure, presentation, and the final review. So it's done typically as a part B, but everything done systematically as they have done in any other semesters, so that they close a design project and it's not left open-ended. So it's not only a group work, but it's also the collective and the individual that matters in this semester. So that's what I have to say on this.